I can't not giggle because you're right there.
Hey guys, it's Jerry Mason, the Kickin lawyer here. Today's video is going to cover paralegals, which is an additional position in the legal field that often people pursue. Some of you guys may be interested in that or some of the other accessory positions in addition to being an attorney. So I thought that it might be good for you to get some insight into that. Today's video, I'm going to give you my opinion as an attorney from what my perspective is of what job and tasks and things that have to be completed by a paralegal. And then we're going to hear from some actual paralegals in our office. They were kind enough to give of their time to sort of give you their inside perspective of what is required from their position. So for me as an attorney, my view on paralegals is sort of similar to in the medical field, the way a doctor and nurse relationship works. The physician comes in, evaluates a patient, gives a diagnosis, and then of course provides some type of treatment that has to be carried out. The nurse then carries out the treatment, whether it's giving them a shot, giving them the prescription, explaining certain treatment methods to them. The nurse does that. The doctor moves on to doing whatever else they're doing with other patients. Very similar setup in the legal field with the attorney-paralegal relationship. There'll be orders and various things that we dictate and have to be carried out by the paralegal. In my opinion, the paralegals are the backbone of the law firm. They're like the blood that pumps through the firm and helps keep everything running smoothly. Very difficult to operate a firm, at least a firm of decent size, without efficient paralegal support. In our office, paralegals do all sorts of tasks. They draft documents for our review, and then we would put the final touches on them. They calendar events. They update clients on the status of cases. Sometimes paralegals will even meet with clients to get signatures on various documents and things we need. Often, they're sort of the filter or wall of protection to allow the attorney to do their work and then provide comfort also to the client. Some clients need more hand-holding than others, and that's fine. But the paralegals will often facilitate that and protect the client's interest, and at the same time free the attorney up to do work. You have some clients that want to talk to the attorney every day, and sometimes that's just not realistic with the number of cases that we may deal with. Plus, we're in court all the time, and when we're in court, we can't respond. So if they need a speedy response, sometimes the paralegal will facilitate that information. Another skill that I think a good paralegal has is they're calm under high-pressure situations. At law firms, especially with what we do, with focusing on family law and criminal defense, those are very high-stress situations for clients and their families, and you need someone that's cool and calm under pressure, and this sort of can be the anchor in the storm for the client. And since they're often the direct contact for the client, it's important that the paralegal be able to function as that, just like the attorney should be. Also, they need to be courteous. Have good customer service skills, and that seems like it should go without saying, but unfortunately in today's time doesn't always mean that everyone you hire is going to be courteous. So they need to be courteous and understand that customer service is important, and clients are customers and you have to take care of them. Okay, so training. So there is school that you can go to. There's various programs you can do. We don't necessarily look for that. I've had paralegals that were both in school with degrees in paralegal studies and those that weren't. And often it's just the initiative of the paralegal themselves that we're more interested in than their training. There are some firms that won't hire paralegals unless they have training. So I think any education can help. So from the attorney perspective, I say if you can do it. But I don't know that it's an end all, at least not in our firm, of whether or not we would hire a paralegal. So I'll make some other comments here in a minute, but let's go ahead and I'm going to let you hear from some of our paralegals. Now we have at our Covington office 3. The day that I recorded this, we only had 2 available, so I'm going to let you hear from them and get some insight from their perspective.
I look pale. Well, your son texted me one day and asked me if I was interested, that you were looking for somebody to be your assistant. And of course I was. Answering the phones, drafting documents, making sure files are ready for court. you know, just making sure that y'all have everything y'all need when y'all go to court. In criminal cases, we do background checks, TBI diversions. I mean, if somebody got arrested on a violation of probation, we enter a motion, petition to get them out. We draft everything: custody papers, divorce papers.
Deal with the clients
every day.
And so some viewers may or may not know this, but each firm would utilize paralegals in different ways. Because of the type of law we practice, we do have a lot of client interaction, and often the paralegals sort of function as the first wall for the client, or first point of contact for the client here. And like Callie's saying, a good paralegal usually is, and I don't know that this would be the right example, but I look at it kind of like the relationship of a doctor and a nurse. The doctor comes in, gives a diagnosis, explains what the treatment is, maybe a prescription, and then the nurse has to actually carry out those orders and do the heavy lifting. In our office, the paralegals, that's basically what they do. The lawyers go to court, figure out whatever we're doing on a case, we give instructions to the paralegal then drafts documents. And so a lot of what Callie does is that. She's our support staff. And she does a really good job. We're real lucky to have a good staff, I think, that supports us, even though we probably don't show them the appreciation they deserve. If somebody were interested in being a paralegal, Callie, and I know you didn't have any special training or school on it, but if somebody wanted to be a paralegal, what would you tell them that they needed to do to help prepare them to do that?
I mean, I was always told that school doesn't really teach you anything as far as once you get out in the real world.
So your advice is don't go to school.
I mean, not don't go to school, but I don't know. I mean, like you said, I didn't have any training. I mean, you definitely need to know writing skills. I would study, like, I don't know, just the law, but certain things. I mean, like, I didn't know anything when I came in. And you learn something new every day. I would say, I mean, for me, I think it's in, like, chancery cases, like divorces and custody, just the background of them, like, you know, the law behind it. I would say, like, when people call or email me, definitely not noting that that has been done.
That's important.
Not covering myself on certain things. I wouldn't say it's bad. I mean, it has its days, just like any other job, but it can get ugly.
And what's the best part of working at this firm?
Working for Jerry.
Yeah, that's what And what's the worst part, dude? Because it's probably the same thing.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I don't know. I
And
like
you're
working
here.
here.
9 a.m.
Sometimes I'm a few minutes late. But
You do a lot better on all that. You're good. Miss Carol Lewis, who's also a paralegal at our office. Miss Carol, how long have you been a paralegal?
I've been a paralegal, a degreed paralegal for 5 years. I was a deputy court clerk. I worked in probation. What else did I do? Then I went to paralegal school to become a paralegal. So I graduated in 2014. How long ago? 5 years?
5 years. Well, so that's an interesting point, because Callie said, I asked her if she thought there's anything she could do to prepare for the job. She's like, I don't think school helps. So do you think because she didn't go to the paralegal program you did, do you feel like that the paralegal program helped you prepare for being a paralegal?
I think so. I had to take law classes, so I understand how to break down law. Obviously, I can't tell people that or give advice, but I would encourage anybody who's interested in the field to go to school.
Okay.
I was working in the courts in Horn Lake, and I just kind of fell in love with the law. Should have gone to law school. I'm coming to find out that there's more disciplinary, more paperwork, more overseeing other people's work, as opposed to just your own. But because I'm in the dual role, it's kind of hard to, in 3 months, I don't know. I haven't got that far yet. Talking people off a ledge. Talking to people, trying to help them navigate through their legal stuff without giving legal advice. Lots of paperwork, lots of phone calls, lots of just working with people. I would definitely say that because the paralegal profession in itself came from the medical field, watching doctor's assistants. That's how the paralegals became. So, yeah, I mean, we work close to the attorneys. The attorneys tell us what to do and how to do it. Go to school. I think it's invaluable to learn something about what you're doing. Most of the schools around Northwest, Southwestern, they all offer a paralegal associate's degree, or if you want to go further and get the bachelor's. But in my opinion, I think it's invaluable. And listen and learn. And one of the big things is keep your mouth shut and listen.
That's hard.
The worst is probably the caseload. There's so much that has to be done on certain things, and I don't mean this but I'm kind of the only one that really understands the chancery side of, the best. It's family. It's walking in and feeling comfortable and don't feel like you're going to get your butt chewed every time you turn around. I mean, I like working for both of you guys. I mean, I enjoy coming to work now.
I hope you guys enjoyed listening to Callie and Carol give some insight from their perspective. One last thing I wanted to mention is pay. So we've had paralegals with no experience, very young, that came in making a very low hourly rate and then worked their way up. We've had paralegals that have come in and they potentially could make as much as an attorney if they're of enough value to the firm. So the cost varies, and I think it also depends on the market you're in. Memphis paralegals, I think, make considerably more than rural area in Tennessee anyway. Paralegals, it's all different. It's really what the individual proves their worth is. A good paralegal often is of more value even than a good lawyer in some firms because they help the firm function. Some other positions outside of paralegals that operate in law firms that some of you may be interested in is sometimes you get internships. Sometimes those are paid or unpaid. It's usually for people that are students and that need some experience on the resume and are kind of interested in the legal field. So those are some offices have internships available. Receptionists often work their way up to become paralegals or some other position. A receptionist is also a very important position in a law firm because they field the phones. They answer calls and often answer questions about calendaring issues and stuff. So that's another position where you can get an entry-level spot at a law firm. And then the office manager, Carol alluded to that. As an office manager, she's more involved in managing the other staff members and whatnot and dealing with payroll and timesheets and things like that, and people taking off work or not, and discipline if there's any type of infraction. But an office manager often functions in law firms. Larger law firms will have other positions. This firm has had a CMO and a CFO position before, Chief Financial Officer or Chief Marketing Officer, but those aren't guaranteed at all firms. Then of course the other positions are the hierarchy of attorneys from associate up to, like myself, a managing partner. So all those are positions in law firms. So I hope this video was educational to you and helped you, especially if you're looking to enter the legal field in some form. If you liked the video, please feel free to like, subscribe, and comment below, especially if you have questions about anything else that we didn't answer. We'd be glad to follow up and give you some answers on that. Just drop us a comment. But I appreciate you guys viewing the video. I'm going to try to get some more up. This is the first one I've done in a while. We've just been so busy, which is a good thing, but it brings me to the next thing. If you have any problems, especially in the West Tennessee area, feel free to give our law firm a call. And if we can't help you, we can refer you to someone who can. We have a network of attorneys that we trust and work with. We'd be glad to refer you to someone else if it's something that we can't help you with. So, but thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.